Good at the first round in LA in the heat race, putting pressure on Doug Henry. Then he went down the main event, still put in a pretty good ride. And ever since then, he just hasn't really shown us that speed, that form. But he says he's happy and comfortable, and he looks it right now.
He's getting the challenge from Ryan Hughes, number 9. Damon Bradshaw, number 10. Ryan Hughes, number 9. It's Lusk in 3rd, Ward in 4th.
You're going to see this time around. Damon's going to have to jump that triple jump. If he doesn't, he's going to have a Kawasaki parked on his seat. He jumped it on the first lap. I'm anxious to see if he can do it again.
Both these guys got company from Lusk now, starting to really put the pressure on. Larry Ward starting way on the outside, got just a good enough start to be able to avoid any kind of a mess getting pushed wide. There's Matasevich trying to work his way up from behind. And Bradshaw goes for the triple this time. The first 3 guys do it, Ward couldn't.
Bradshaw maybe felt better about his angle and approach that time on the triple jump. Damon Bradshaw, who came out of retirement after a year and a half away from racing, said he picked a heck of a time to try to get back into it with all the depth that we've seen in these fields.
You know, Art, he really needs this right now. His year's gone downhill after that crash in the second turn in Los Angeles, the first night of the season. I think he'd be a different rider if he'd have just held it up that time. I know he would really like to get a win. He'll take a semi-win if that's what it takes, but I'd like to see Damon get a checkered flag, get his confidence back up. He's got a lot of fans on the East Coast.
Couple of hungry riders right behind him. Ryan Hughes looking for his first Supercross victory, collides a little bit with Lusk. Lusk slowed down, and here comes Larry Ward challenging Lusk now for 3rd.
Lusk came charging into the first corner and just couldn't quite get underneath Ryan Hughes. Ryan Hughes slammed the door. Lusk almost high-sided, lost some time. That gave Larry Ward a little bit of a advantage. He moved up to the back of Lusk. Now he's back in this race.
Since there's no one very close to Larry Ward, I wouldn't be surprised to see these top 4 guys let it hang out here.
In 5th position is Jeff Matasevich. He's about 1.5 miles behind Larry Ward.
These top 4 guys all getting out to good starts is part of the reason for that. Matasevich done a good job to work his way into 5th. If he can stay there, he'll go to the main.
A hippity hop, lots of rebound on Yogi's bike as he stays in front of Larry Ward in 3rd. Bradshaw pulling away now from the 2nd place rider Ryan Hughes.
You can see coming out of the first corner, it's really tough for these guys to get lined up to jump those double jumps. Everyone's got a little bit different line. They come together right there.
The finish of semifinal number 1 from Indy coming up.
The bike you dream about means serious cash, right? Wrong, people. Do the math. During Suzuki Fest 97, get up to $500 in Suzuki accessories free when you buy a selected Suzuki. Like the muscle-bound Intruder 1400. You'll also get free accessories with the Intruder 800 and the Savage 650. And choose from finance options like 0 down and 9.9% APR on selected models. But hurry, Suzuki Fest won't last. So you and Suzuki means, well, you do the math.
Owners are a big part of sports. Some of them can be pretty interesting characters. Look at ours.
Dan, how we doing?
Hi, Sperling. How are you?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Take care of Gigi for a little while. I want to take a walk around the place, all right? What do you do up here?
I'm the producer for the 6:30 show.
What do you produce? All right, good. No facial hair.
Sorry?
It distracts from the top. I want to see you in a year and a half. That's it.
Why?
I think you may be using the wrong shampoo. I want to talk to you about that a little bit later. Right over here. Right over here. Okay. This isn't one of ours. This is not one of ours.
We've got a freight train of Bradshaw, Hughes, Lusk, Ward, and Matasevich here in semifinal number 1 from Indianapolis, Indiana.
I think what we're seeing right now is the track, although the track builders are trying to do a really good job of giving them a different layout, starting to develop into a little bit of a one-line situation. These guys can't really do a whole lot to pass each other. Plus, they're already in a position to make the main event. But in the main, the longer race, you can see the rut in that corner right there, and in the face of all these jumps, that's going to get worse. And like David talked about earlier in Seattle, the racing getting so good because of the ruts, we may see that here.
Ezra Lusk looking a little reluctant, really, to put the press on Hughes in the corner, Davey.
Yeah, I was noticing that, too. It looks to me almost as if Ezra's out there experimenting a little bit. He knows he's got this position wrapped up. Maybe try a few lines just in case he doesn't get the whole shot. Might have a few extra places out there on the track to sneak by some guys.
Don't want to show it all. Everyone your little secrets in the heat races and the semis. If you can get around Ryan Hughes right here, Ryan would have a chance to retaliate before the end of this race.
White flag, final lap, number 9, Ryan Hughes. A dark cloud has been hanging over this kid. Food poisoning in the first round, a rock stuck in the front brake in the second round. His bike seized in round number 4. He'd like to really come back and gain a victory. Lusk banging him.
Well, Ryan's definitely got the speed, but like you said, Artie just has some bad luck this year. And I think he's written off the Supercross season. He knows there's not a whole lot he can do.
Oh, he took the triple. Bradshaw now getting heat for the lead here on the final lap.
Bradshaw, that's going to come back to haunt him. He's going to have to jump that every lap. The one time the whole race he didn't jump that, Hughes almost got him there.
Racing so close everywhere. One mistake can cost you 2 or 3 positions. And on the final lap, give these guys a chance to go in there and take you out, but Bradshaw hangs on.
The checkers for Damon Bradshaw. So maybe, as Davey said, this might give him a confidence boost to make him more of a contender when the main event comes around. So Damon Bradshaw is our winner of the first semifinal round. We'll have the official results, and Marty visits with Damon, our winner, in a moment.
6 cylinders, 1,520 cc's. You'll go through towns where you'll be the biggest thing that happens all year. The new Valkyrie Tour. America's the boulevard it was born to cruise.
1-800-COLLECT presents Max Jerome, Private Eye.
When I saw her, my heart started pounding like a heavyweight speed bag. Until she started calling Collect without dialing 1-800-COLLECT.
You could be saving up to 44% by dialing 1-800-COLLECT, Angel. Let me show you how it's done.
It's so easy. Now let me show you how it's done.
Any Joe will tell you, 1-800-COLLECT is the easy way to save up to 44%.
Hey, Vince, there's a big old juicy hunter sitting on an ATV in the mud over there. You suppose he's stuck?
I hope so. I'm starving. Wait a minute. That's a Suzuki King Quad. Selectable 204-wheel drive, 5-speed transmission, 3-speed sub-tranny? Nah, I've yet to see one get stuck.
Then what's he doing just sitting there?
Looks like he just stopped to...
Reload!
The Suzuki King Quad. More features than your friend's ATV.
Damon Bradshaw, number 10. On a Honda this year, winning the semifinal round. That's his second semifinal win in a row. He took the semifinal win in Seattle. Damon Bradshaw, Ryan Hughes, Lusk, Ward, and Matasevich into the main event. Let's go to Marty Reed.
For the first time since he came back, Damon Bradshaw on the number 1 spot. Been a little longer than you expected, but a great ride here.
Yeah, it has. I haven't been here in so long I forget how to talk on the podium. But I know I've been struggling with my starts, and I finally got off to a good start, and I just need some confidence.
I think that confidence was showing out there. You had a little bit of heat right there at the end from Ryan, but you came on strong.
Yeah, I did. I started riding a little tight toward the end, but other than that, everything felt good.
Damon Bradshaw, winner, heat number 1 in the semis.
Thank you, Marty, as we get ready for semifinal number 2. Atlanta, Georgia Dome next week. And if you're not in the area to check it out in person, be with us on ESPN2 Friday. That's the 28th of February, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 out west, for our television coverage from the Atlanta, Georgia Dome. Kevin Windham now trying to make the main event 250, guys.
Well, it's getting a chance to go after his 125 rival, Steve Lamson. It's kind of funny. They both end up in a semi here together. I'd like to see Kevin and Steve get away from each other, but I know both those guys really could do well in the main event. It's more important, though, to Lamson. So maybe a win here in this heat race, or rather the semi, is just what he needs, just like Bradshaw.
Lamson, Windham, Swink, Jimmy Button, Joshua Steele, Phil Lawrence, Corey Keeney, another 125 rider in the field. Just a few of the favorites for those top 5 positions. So the gate can drop any second now for our second semifinal round. And they're off. Lammy with a great start, number 4. Jimmy Button to his outside, number 18.
Boy, Button just rode right around the outside of him, had the better line. Lamson still controlling the inside. He should be able to hold on to the lead with Button. He leaves the door open just enough. Button almost could have snuck back around in there. A pretty poor start for Kevin Windham.
Swink, number 13, in second place. Windham, though, has got some angles. He's buried back in the pack, as you'll see through the whoop section. There's number 7. trying to bang it out to get in front.
Short race like this, a poor start's fatal if you want to win.
You
You
can
see,
see-
he's having to take big chances just to get through the pack right there. Doesn't look like the same Wyndham on the 125, does it?
He's in 6th place, though.
He does look good here and there, but he looks so much more confident on that 125. And it's obvious when he's out there riding, the bike's bigger and twice as hard to handle, twice as hard to get stopped, twice as much power.
Here's our real battle for 2nd place. Jimmy Button and Brian Swink. Swink coming off hand surgery now. Zips by Button, who's had problems with a broken cartilage in the rib section.
Yeah, that's a really sharp line Brian used right there. A lot of guys having to go a little further outside to accomplish that combination. That looked good for Brian.
Once upon a time, the big rival of Jeremy McGrath, while in the 125s. Both of them back-to-back winners in the 125 East and West divisions. Lamps it out in front. Brian Swink in 2nd. Jimmy Button getting a challenge now. He's getting the challenge from Phil Lawrence coming back. Well, Lawrence is still suffering from a pulled tendon in the thumb.
You know, Lawrence had such a great season last year, and I hate to see him start out injured. There were a lot of top 5 rides last year, a couple podium finishes. I'd really like to see Phil just get healthy and try and get back to the level he was of last year.
It's a tough year to do it. Like Art said, Damon Bradshaw picked a heck of a year to come back with the amount of depth. Any kind of a problem this year that you have to be nursing out there, and it's really tough to just make the main event. For Phil, it's been a disappointing season so far after how strong he started out last year.
Okay, in recap, we've got Lampson way out in front. Then it's Swink, Jimmy Button, Phil Lawrence, and here comes Kevin Wyndham. Wyndham already's got his qualifying position if he stays upright. But it kind of looks like he'd like to take on Phil Lawrence, guys.
Oh, I think he needs to get up there a little quicker and do a little bit more for his confidence. Here he is in a semi behind all the guys that he really, I think on a 125 probably be able to beat some of these guys. And 250 is just a lot more of a motorcycle out there, and you can see he's a little bit more tentative here and there, and that's smart. He's got to save his body for the 125 Nationals as well as the Supercross. Last year he had a broken collarbone, missed some races, and can't afford that again.
David, who's he remind you of? A Ronnie Lachine or maybe a Rick Johnson on that bike?
I can't figure out what he reminds me of really. Wyndham is just a combination of a lot of people. He rides a lot like Lachine in terms of standing up, not putting his foot out for the corner. He's got great balance, great instincts, and he's young, and he's already a major rider.
5 more. We'll get the transfer when we come back.
Introducing the all-new Suzuki GSX R600. It's so quick, so intense, so dominating. Just to be fair, you might want to give the competition a bit of a head start.
Six cylinders, 6 carbs, 2 bags, 1 windshield. It's a good thing we got 50 states. The new Valkyrie Tour. America's the boulevard it was born to cruise.
Welcome back to Indianapolis, Indiana, the RCA Dome. Steve Lampson way out in front here in the second semifinal round with Brian Swink in 2nd place, Jimmy Button in 3rd. This is the battle for 4th and 5th.
You see Wyndham landed off that finish line jump, jumped all the way over it where Lawrence came up a little short. Wyndham just stood up around the corner. That's like I was saying about Ron Lachine. Lachine used to be the best at that.
Let's go down to Marty Reed. Marty.
Guys, for 2nd place, Brian Swink. I'm sort of hoping that he gets to the podium, because if he takes off his helmet, you're going to see blue hair. That's right. It's the Dennis Rodman look of Supercross. He says, no, I'm not doing it for Rodman. He says, I just want to be different. It's definitely different. I hope we get a chance to look at it.
Well, after not qualifying in the 1st round and taking a 20th in the 2nd round, not running in the 3rd and a 14th in the last round, that will make him unique.
And he needs something different.
Final lap. Lamson with a huge lead.
You know, before we even get to see him take his helmet off, maybe we'll see one of those Brian Deegan Ghost Ride launches. He's a Team Moto XXX teammate of Deegan's, the 125 rider.
Well, he'll do it, and since then, there's been some very harsh words come out of the AMA. And rightly so, for the safety of everyone.
Of course.
Lamson continuing to lead out front, but look at this battle.
It's Jimmy Button, number 18, putting the heat on Phil Lawrence.
They don't look like teammates right now because of the different colors, but they are Team Chaparral teammates. I can guarantee you Larry Brooks is holding his breath a little bit, saying, guys, be smart. You're in the main. Don't take each other out.
Kevin Windham, you're right, being very conservative. So the checkered flag gets ready for number 4. Steve Lamson of Team Honda, the Lone Ranger for the Red Riders.
No hill clicker?
No, I think he's all business.
I think he and McGrath have the same thing in mind tonight.
Okay. Only 2 more places to be determined with the LCQ. We'll be right back in a moment.
Here it is, the no-holds-barred world of military aviation, the way you'd expect it with the Challenge of Flight 97. More close calls, more true stories, more incredible footage, exclusively here, not sold in stores. See what works and what doesn't, with all the facts, all the information, all the details. Fly low and slow over a carrier deck, wheels up with nowhere to go, missiles on target, bombs gone wild. See the triumphs, the tragedies, and the final seconds when all that's left is the ejection seat. Call now and join tens of thousands who own a series unlike any you've ever seen before. The Challenge of Flight 97. Own it. Enjoy it. Do it now.
Order the Challenge of Flight preview for only $5 and receive a free pair of aviator sunglasses. Other tapes will follow about every 4 weeks. You may cancel at any time or return any tape for a full refund. Call 1-800-528-3223. That's 1-800-528-3223.
How do you prove you're the king of college hoops? Just log on and enter the ESPN Net Sports Zone Tournament Challenge presented by Pizza Hut and DoubleTree Hotels. Fill out your brackets. Compete against thousands of other fans. Make the right picks and be crowned king of college hoops. Log on to ESPN Net Sports Zone and you can win a trip for 2 to the 1998 Men's Final Four. Accommodations at DoubleTree Hotels and 64 large pizzeria stuffed crust pizzas from Pizza Hut. The ESPN Net Sports Zone Tournament Challenge enters starting March 9th.
We're back in Indianapolis, Indiana, and 5 more riders get gate positions for the main event. Steve Lamson, Brian Swink, Phil Lawrence, Jimmy Button, and that 125 rider trying to get used to the 250, Kevin Windham. Let's go down now to Marty Reed, who's with Steve Lamson.
Very happy Steve Lamson down here on the podium. Second time we've talked here after winning in the semis. Last time was Phoenix. I don't want to bring up what happened in the main. Let's talk about what happened here, though. Good run for you. Good start.
Yeah, my heat race didn't go all that well for me, and I rode good, but I got 5th, and I just got a better start that race, and got a little more time on the track and a little more loosened up, so that's good, and the track's holding up really good, and the fans are great here. I mean, you got a good turnout, and hopefully we can just put on a great race for the people in the main event.
As far as track conditions, you're the first one that's really brought it up. You're saying it's holding up better than you expected?
Well, last couple weeks ago in Seattle was a lot worse, so this isn't so bad. And we got a few races on it before they redone it last time, and it wasn't too bad that race. So I think for as long as they prep it for the main events, it'll be good.
Steve Lamson, he's heading to the main.
Okay, Marty, Steve Lamson is Team Honda still searching for the right combination to get back on that main podium. Taking a look now at the 97 schedule as we invade the Southland. Next week in Atlanta, then on to Daytona before it's back to the Midwest. To always a packed house in Minneapolis. Then to Houston and Orlando before going to the always exciting St. Louis. Boy, last year's race was a humdinger. To Pontiac, a traditional place for this Supercross series. Then to Charlotte, Dallas, and ending things up with a big one, guys, in Las Vegas, Nevada.
I'm curious to see what happens with that race. From what I understand, there's some talk they might not be at the Speedway. Might be back to Sam Boyd Silver Bowl, and that's always a great race there. Tight racing, yeah. Good track.
And a good intimate track, close to the riders. We'll be back with more racing from Indianapolis in a moment.
Now the bike you want equals big time bucks, correct? Incorrect. Do the math. During Suzuki Fest 97, get up to $500 in Suzuki accessories free with a selected Suzuki. Like the awesome GSX-R 1100. You also get free accessories with the Katana 600 and 750 and the RF 900R. And choose from financing options like 0 down and 9.9% APR on selected models. But hurry, Suzuki Fest won't last. So you plus Suzuki equals... Well, come on, add it up.
See yourself in a whole new way with a job you've only dreamed of. Prepare an F-18 for takeoff. Check out the cockpit of a Seahawk helicopter. Help navigate a nuclear-powered submarine. Are you ready to find out about exciting jobs like these? Call this number now for our free booklet, Today's Navy, and get the facts about over 50,000 jobs in 60 different fields. If you've got the drive and a high school diploma, the Navy can teach you high-tech skills in some of the hottest fields around. State-of-the-art computers, nuclear propulsion, aviation electronics, skills you can build a future on. Go ahead, pick up the phone and ask for our free booklet. You'll find out which jobs are available right now and about great Navy benefits like 30 days vacation with pay, the chance to travel the world, and up to $30,000 for college. Don't wait. Call 1-800-USA-NAVY today for your free Navy booklet. We'll give you the training, the benefits, and most important, the jobs. Navy. Let the journey begin.
The best games of the NHL season are being played right now. Subscribe to NHL Center Ice as the action heats up and the competition for Stanley Cup playoff spots gets more intense. You'll see hundreds of games, up to 25 a week. For a limited time, there's a half-season package available through DirecTV. It's only $89. Call DirecTV today. NHL Center Ice, from your friends at the NHL and ESPN.
AMA Supercross on ESPN2 is being brought to you by Motorcycle Mechanics Institute. Quality training for the motorcycle industry.
In our Honda flashback, we'll take you back to 1989 at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. And at the drop of the gate for the main, number 10, Honda's Guy Cooper gets the hole shot, followed closely by number 7, Jeff Stanton. And as these two battled, they opened up a sizable lead over the rest of the pack as Stanton, to the inside, takes over the lead. But Guy Cooper, still looking for that first Supercross win, kept the pressure on. And through the whoop section, Stanton, all muscle, a little bit out of control, overshoots the corner off the racetrack, handing Guy Cooper the lead. Stanton doing an excellent job of getting back into the race without hooking up any banners in the rear tire, but he's got heavy pressure from number 4, Ron Lachine, and number 1, the Magic Man. On a 5-race win streak, Rick Johnson takes over third from Ron Lachine and sets his sights on his teammate and friend, Jeff Stanton. And just like we'd seen in the first 5 rounds, Johnson on a tear, carving his way to the front, and once again, Stanton could only watch as Johnson takes over the lead from his teammate, number 10, Guy Cooper. But then things got interesting. Number 10, Guy Cooper, approaching a lapped rider, gets out of control and does the Superman, but not on purpose. And while all eyes were on Cooper, Stanton took over the lead from Johnson. But in a last-ditch effort, Johnson to the outside loses the front end in any hopes of winning number 6, handing Stanton his first ever Supercross win.
We'll be in Atlanta next week, but Atlanta in 1989, it was the first win for one of the sport's great legends. While we're away, the winners of the LCQ, Tommy Clowers of SMP's crew, and Keith Johnson has made both the 125 and 250 main events. The cross-country rider out of New England, Keith Johnson, rounding out the field, securing one of the last 2 positions at the gate out of the LCQ. Tonight in the RCA Dome, it's interesting to open a new season. And tonight we're opening the 125 East. After 4 races out west, it's time for a new set of youngsters to take center stage. 17-year-old Stéphane Rancada from France ran in a couple of Western region races for no points and was initiated quickly.
I was thinking that I could win because I know Ramsey, he's a pretty good rider, but he was doing a lot of mistakes and he was getting tired. And it was maybe only 5 laps before the end. And I was okay, and I was, yes, I'm going to win this race, I'm going to win it. And when I saw him crash, oh my God. He was like this in the air, and I couldn't miss his back in the landing, and I couldn't start again because of my shifter. And I was really sad after that.
Number 70, Ricky Carmichael, in his first full Supercross season, found running at Steele City last year opened his eyes up to the challenge ahead.
The pros, for sure, you know, they just don't let you pass them. You know, you have to work for it, and they're going to bump you if you give them a inside line. You know, you just have to protect your line, and I did learn a lot from Steele City, you know, and riding with them guys makes me faster, you know. I mean, in amateurs, I could win, you know, by a good margin. But when I got to the pros, it made me faster riding with somebody faster than me. So I think it's going to be a good learning year for me, and so I'm happy.
Number 29, Scott Sheik, got the break of a lifetime when Team Honda pulled him out of the privateer ranks. He's anxious to get the season underway.
I have been waiting, but I think that, you know, I've had a lot of time to practice and test and to get myself ready for this race. I feel that maybe, you know, sometimes you take your chances going out there and racing a little early. You know, things can happen, and mentally it could bring you down or it could bring you up, you know. But I think my mental edge is really far up there right now, and I feel really good for this race. So, you know, I don't think they have an advantage on me at all.
For seasoned veterans like John Dowd, this year's run for the 125 East Crown is a key to his future.
There's just a whole bunch of new guys out there, and, you know, maybe guys coming back from being hurt or whatever, but it definitely seems like there's a lot of competition, and, you know, I don't think it's going to be an easy class by any means either, any class. You know, you look at the East, the West, the 250 class is incredibly tough, and but I think it'll be fun.
The past winners in the 125 here in Indianapolis, as you see here, 4 of the 5 anyway, Mikel Pachon, Ezra Lusk, and Doug Henry. I think it's significant that those last 4 winners here in Indianapolis have gone on to win the 125 Eastern Crown.
Scott Sheik's stock just went up after Blissen had the first heat race win, his first ride for Honda. Went right around Ron Cotta, got into the lead, and looking good so far.
Our Suzuki starting grid as we take a look at all the 125 riders, the future stars of this sport. I've got to agree with you. Scott Sheik looked very cool for being so nervous before the race.
Yeah, I know that he had a lot of pressure from Rancada, the Frenchman there. Rancada, of course, took advantage of that East-West rule, gave him a chance to get a few races under his belt. But to beat Rancada in a race like this, I think it did a lot for Scotty's confidence. I hope he shakes some of those nervous cobwebs out of himself.
Well, it's best to get into the win column early in the 125 East if you want to win the title. The rider who has won the first round of the 125 East only event has won the East Championship 10 of the 12 years that we've been racing 125s. Rancada shaking those arms out as we look into the eyes of Scott Sheik. Let's get on to Marty.
Well, you talk about Scott Sheik, a factory ride, carries with it a lot of pressure. After the heat, I went up to him, I said, hey, you feel like a ton of pressure's off your shoulders? He looked at me, smiled, and said, absolutely.
50,815 fans here at the RCA Dome are ready for the first main event of the evening as we get set to go. Who will win the 1 in 900 Pro Race Whole Shot Award of $500?
I'm going to bet on Carmichael, guys. I know it's his first East Coast Supercross. That's who I think is going to do it.
Will it be Tim Ferry, Sheik, Dowd, Rancada, Bogart, Carmichael, as Davey seems to think it will be?
Carmichael's lined up just to the inside of Rancada and Sheik. If he gets a good jump, he'll control that first turn.
They've got the chalk line right after the first turn, and we are off. Oh, Chad Pedersen will get the $500, number 25.
Well, Carmichael got the whole shot all right, but he couldn't make the corner. There he is, just getting going.
Sellards is out there in front, number 80.
Looks like Paul Curry next to him. Those two guys grew up together on Team Green. Kind of neat to see them out here in a Supercross race together.
Brock Sellards. It is very interesting, and what a battle we have for first. Number 25 is Chad Pedersen. He's just coming off the arena cross circuit. Paul Curry out in front. Chad Pedersen makes the move. Chad Pedersen will cross the finish line after lap number 1 in the lead. He won $10,000, gentlemen. The High Point man at the halfway mark of the Arena Cross Series. But is riding with Chaparral now in the 125 main event here tonight.
There's a 5-rider battle for the lead. Look at the mess. It's just a traffic jam. All these guys are running into each other. Now John Dowd joins the picture, and Pingree is on the move.
Pingree, number 57 of Pro Circuit. He has Curry in his sights. Curry currently in second place. We got some surprises up front here.
This has the makings of a fantastic main event.
John Dowd has just moved into fourth place with a burst of speed.
Some of the favorites just behind this battle right here. Number 22, Tim Ferry. Also, Carmichael coming up from behind.
Ron Cotta has moved into fifth.
You know, Pingree's a pretty aggressive guy. I think he's going to push some of these guys around. We just saw him do Curry there in that corner. Pingree is the assassin of this 125 class.
Number 25 is our leader, Chad Pedersen, and down goes, yes!
It's Pingree.
Pingree goes down, and he takes a rider with him.
That wasn't his fault. I think Curry lost control there, and then Pingree had no choice but to run right in the back of him. That changes things, and it looks like we might have someone hurt.
Well, let's check it out. See how it happened, David. There's Curry, 67.
Curry gotten out of control right there. Dowd, watch Dowd goes just to the inside, almost runs over Curry, but just like Davey said, Pingree had nowhere to go.
Here is our leader, number 25, Chad Pedersen, with Ron Cotta, and a battle with John Dowd for second place. It's Ron Cotta has moved into second.
Because of a rider going down on the triple jump, all these guys are having to single each one. Pedersen still got a pretty nice lead over Ron Cotta.
Here's Chad Pedersen out in front. Ferry has moved into fourth.
I'm anxious to see what Pedersen does late in the race. Like you guys said, he's used to that arena cross stuff where we're talking about, you know, 6-7 minute sprint races. Now he's on a big track, but at the same time, he's got a long race. It's going to be at least 15 minutes tonight.
Ron Cotta, number 112 from the south of France, fulfilling a dream that began when he rode a friend's motorcycle at 4 years old in France. His parents gave him a Christmas present, and here he is in the United States in the main event of his first 125 Eastern Championship race.
And now just behind this battle, John Dowd coming through, then Tim Ferry, then Scott Sheik. Scott Sheik has worked his way into the picture. He's following Tim Ferry, who seems like he's on the move. These two guys have hooked up and caught these leaders. There's still plenty of time for them to challenge the lead.
Number 80, Sellers, is right behind Sheik. So we have a good battle, but now it is a freight train behind number 25.
It's kind of neat how two independent team riders, semi-factory, whatever you want to call them. Oh, here comes Riccone on the inside.
Oh, tries just to squeeze a wheel in, but Pedersen looking back, accelerates off the corner. Nice move by Ron Cotta. He looks like more of an experience than a 17-year-old rider, David Bailey.
He looks fantastic. He made a nice move there out of that corner. Let Pedersen know that he was there, kept the pressure on, took Pedersen out of his rhythm for a moment, and just slipped to the inside, doing a lot of little tricky moves like we used to see from Jean-Michel Bailey, coming out of nowhere and making a line where there didn't seem to be one.
Oh, look at here. John Dowd makes the pass. Now on Chad Pedersen.
I was just going to say something about the independent team riders running first and second with three factory guys, Dowd, Ferry, and Sheik coming up behind him. You know, so you said that there went Dowd using the advantage of that work suspension, I guess, to outpower Pedersen through the whoops.
John Dowd not having a great deal of time to work on the 125 bike as he's been riding 250s in the Western Division. He's trying to put the pressure on Ron Cotta as we can see Ferry now making a move on Chad Pedersen for third. Dowd trying to move inside.
Ferry goes to the inside of Pedersen, takes over third. He's got his eye on the leaders. I think he realizes that if he can't get around Pedersen for a couple more laps, Ron Cotta and Dowd would be gone. Sheik is next. You see Sheik back there working on Pedersen.
Behind Ron Cotta and Dowd, it's Ferry. Here comes Sheik. Scott Sheik moving into contention now.
Maybe Pedersen is getting tired after all.
Takes a lot more pressure than what he's had to deal with in the arena crosses. He's put together great performances. Did a good job for the first few laps, but the pace here is just amazing. These guys they're pushing as hard as they can go. I think some of these guys are going to start to get tired later in the race. The guy that's the most fit is probably going to come out on top.
Scott Sheik in fourth position, trying to make a move on Tim Ferry in third. Now Ron Cotta has opened up a 2.5-second lead on John Dowd in front. As we go in the back of the pack to see Chad Pedersen, number 25, trying to make a move.
Yeah, I know he's not on our screen right now, but Ricky Carmichael has very quietly moved up to 7th place after going down the first turn there. Might see if he can catch up with Sheik. That'd do a lot for Ricky's confidence.
Can the young Frenchman Stefan Roncada. Can he win his first American Supercross? We'll find out when we get back.
It's over 8 feet long from one end to the other. And it makes you look for the farthest distance between 2 points. The new Valkyrie Tour. America's the boulevard it was born to cruise.
Riverdance. It swept Europe and now is sweeping the U.S. Experience this symphony of sight and sound, now available on home video. Feel the pulsating rhythm as 80 performers ignite your passions. Order Riverdance today, and you'll save $5 through this special TV offer. Now you can own your copy of Riverdance for only $19.98. Don't miss your chance for the original Riverdance. Order now.
Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-380-7171 to order Riverdance. Makes a great St. Patrick's Day gift. Order today and save $5. Only $19.98 plus shipping and handling. Sorry, no CODs.
Hi, I'm snowboarder Rob Kingwell here at the Winter X Games. We were fortunate enough to get some new snow last night. Kind of reminds me of a piece by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Announced by all the trumpets in the sky arrives the snow. And driving over the fields seems nowhere to alight. The whited air hides the woods, the hills, the river, and the heavens.
Welcome back to Indianapolis, Indiana. The 125 main event is underway. It is Stefan Roncada in the lead with Dowd in second place, Tim Ferry in third. In fourth, number 25, Chad Pedersen. And in fifth, Scott Sheik, the lone team Honda rider.
Pedersen's thrown up a roadblock in front of Sheik. Sheik's lost contact with Ferry there. He needs to move around, and I'm telling you, Sellers and Carmichael aren't out of the shed either. They can move up on that Honda factory bike. Although there, Pedersen just missed some jumps, and looks like he lost spots to both Sheik and Sellers.
Carmichael trying to make a move on that double team. Can he sandwich through? Oh. Carmichael runs into the back.
I don't think he counted on Sellers to make that inside like that. Carmichael was jumping out of that triple. Had nowhere to go but right into the side of Sellers.
So an unlucky break for Ricky Carmichael in his first full season of Supercross, banging into the back of Sellers. Let's see if we can get another look at that now. See exactly what happened.
Here it is, right there, just at the tail end of it. Carmichael going right into the back end of Sellers. If he'd have been a little bit more to his right, he'd have gone right into Sellers' body. So it was fortunate for both those guys to get away without an injury.
Meanwhile, out in front, it's 112 with number 14, John Dowd, putting the pressure on Roncada. Roncada looking back like as if to say, where did you come from?
Dowd's one of those guys that gets stronger and stronger as the race wears on. He has caught Roncada. He's faster. I got to think he's at least as fit, if not more so.
Well, that time on the 250s definitely helped him as far as his strength goes. Like you said, twice the power, twice the strength. We'll see.
Now Dowd's just got to be clever and not give himself, if he was to go for the move right now, Roncada's smart enough to maybe retaliate. So if Dowd can keep the pressure on right here, make his pass late in the race, he may be able to make it stick.
Let's check it out right here. Dowd does not make the move on Roncada like he thought he might. Let's go down to Marty.
Yeah, we're down here with Brian Berry. Brian, he's got him all over Stefan. Does he have enough experience to pull this off, do you think?
John definitely does. This is what he wanted. Not that great of a start, and then get him from behind.
We're going to let you get back to it. They're coming by again.
Right now, Roncada, number 112, is starting to approach some lappers in Ricky Carmichael and John Dowd, number 14.
Yeah, disastrous night for Pro Circuit. Pingree, we saw him crash. Carmichael's just riding around right now. He's got no front brake lever. We see him getting ready to lap him, as a matter of fact.
Both the lappers really putting a clamp on Roncada. John Dowd pulling up nicely now.
through the whoop section one more time. That whoop section, unfortunately, is one of the best sections on the racetrack in practice, but becoming more one line. John Dowd almost going off the racetrack right there. Every lap he goes wide, tries to do something a little different. He's got to. You can't pass if you're following.
Guys, we have to hand it to Ron Cotta. He's taking the best line, and he's not panicking.
Yeah, not yet. I saw that time he had a good chance to capitalize on the mistake Dowd made, and he kind of messed his rhythm up down through there. He could have gotten a second or so on him. He wants to be as far away from John Dowd as he can when he gets to the whoops section, because I'm telling you, that Yamaha rider's better through the whoops.
Ron Cotta, who started his competition in Los Angeles, since the new 125 rule allowed him to get some practice races under his belt, and he did very well, David Bailey, with the exception of one time. It wasn't his fault. He landed on Nathan Ramsey. John Dowd giving a tremendous part of our battle, but Ron Cotta holding his line. Dowd going wide. He'll have the momentum, maybe. John Dowd.
Dowd's got the inside. See if Ron Cotta can square him off.
Ron Cotta wisely staying on two wheels as John Dowd has moved into first place here with the 125 main event, round number 5 of the Supercross Series.
Last year, John Dowd became the oldest man, the first 30-something rider to win a 125 Supercross. He's going to add another year on his own record.
That's right. He won it in Atlanta.
There's Tim Ferry
in third place.
He's had a great pace going, but the pace of the leaders was the same, so he hasn't been able to make up any time at all, but he's got a mile back to fourth.
And if you think that's far, it's even further back to Sellards and these other guys. Sheik is behind him. Carmichael's riding around. He's got no front brake or a clutch lever. Kind of interesting to ride, but I'm telling you, it's. I think as this track gets rougher, we're going to see more and more guys making mistakes.
Number 14 pulling a 2.5-second lead now on second place, Stefan Roncada.
I think Roncada had dealt with that pressure long enough, finally realized that it'd be smart for him at this point to just settle for second place. Dowd's just got a little bit too much for him, and to risk trying to go faster right out of his comfort zone. There's a stopwatch. We're going to put it on Roncada, see if we can get a lap time. About 5 seconds back to Tim Ferry in third, so he is starting to close on Roncada now. It looks like he's beginning to fade.
It'll be interesting to see the lap times with so many bar-to-bar crashes.
See how far it is.
There's Pedersen. That was our old leader.
Scott Sheik still hasn't come around. He's still following Sellards. There they come out of the corner. 30 seconds. That's probably about a half a lap. Maybe a little bit more.
The first 125 main event for Scott Sheik. As far as a Team Honda rider, the very first ride for Ricky Carmichael in a points action. And here's John Dowd, the veteran, 53.9. That's pretty impressive with the lappers up there.
Now he's working his way through the lappers. He's got good enough lines. He's versatile enough out there on the racetrack. Strong enough at the end of the race to continue to pull away. Now he's got enough cushion where if he were to make a big mistake in some of the lappers and fall, he could get up and still win this thing.
Tim Ferry now starting to make a move on Stefan Roncada. Roncada did get a second place in the Western no points action that he was practicing in. Tim Ferry, who says his conditioning is better than it's ever been before, hired a trainer for the first time in his career, said I'll be able to finish these races better.
Yeah, he and Doug Henry are like the comeback kids this year from injuries. Maybe sometimes it's good to take a little bit of time off.
Final lap, white flag lap for these riders.
Ferry's close enough, and they're going to have to encounter some lappers before they get to the finish line turn. If Ferry plays his cards right, could make the pass.
The flashbang bulbs are popping now as Ferry.
Wow.
Buses his way by Roncada. Roncada going for the triple. Has the inside, but Ferry had the speed. Oh, Ferry going all kinds of sideways. Almost lost it. Roncada now makes the pass back. Ferry, the checkered flag. Ferry picking off second place. Amazing run.
That was a brilliant move by Ferry. Although he made that mistake, he knew Ricardo was coming to the inside. He jammed on the brakes early and cut back in front of him to salvage that second.
I'd say that's the difference between a factory rider and a semi-factory rider.
Let's not overlook the fact, though, with that great race for second place, our winner was number 14, John Dowd. He's 8th in the points this year in the 250s after the first 4 races out on the West Coast. Got back into the 125 East Division. He wants to gain the flag for the 125 Eastern Division for Yamaha this year. We'll be back with the words from John Dowd as well, we hope, from Tim Ferry. Yes, when we get back.
Take everything you ever knew about cruiser motorcycles, everything you ever learned from your older brother, your friends, biker movies, and throw it out. Because the Marauder is a cruiser like no other, one only a high-performance company could have built. The Suzuki Marauder. It's time to move on.
1/900 Pro Race, up to the minute race results now.
Bar to bars that go over the triple. And Pingree right on his tail. Tries to box you on that, so Kevin Windham. Whoa!
You call 1/900 Pro Race. Bradshaw coming up now to challenge Doug Henry.
Oh, Pingree goes down with James Dobb.
1/900 Pro Race is absolutely the best.
Oh, what a bar-to-bar battle we've got going.
1/900 Pro Race, except no substitute.
6 cylinders, 1,520 cc's. You'll go through towns where you'll be the biggest thing that happens all year. The new Valkyrie Tour. America's the boulevard it was born to cruise.
The key move by number 14, John Dowd, in the opening round of the 125 East from Indianapolis as he made the move on Stefan Roncada to move into first place. A great race for John Dowd. What a way to start off the 125 Eastern season for the 31-year-old veteran who will become a father next month in March. Tim Ferry, a great battle, taking second over Stefan Roncada, but a good show from the young 17-year-old Frenchman taking third. As we look at 5 through 10, let's go down to Marty Reed.
Yeah, we're down here with a very happy John Dowd. You know, I was talking to Brian Barry while you were out there. I said, hey, is experience going to be the difference here? And he said, yeah. What'd you think?
Well, I just, you know, I feel pretty confident. I've been riding the 250s the last few weeks, and I know I'm in good shape. And, you know, I know there's a lot of fast guys out here in this class, but the question is going that fast for 15 laps. And, you know, I felt confident that I could do that. So I kind of paced myself at the beginning, and, I felt good right to the end.
Is this a signal of things to come for this year? Is this going to be your year?
I sure hope so. I've been working a lot with Gary Semix and, you know, just training hard and stuff, and hopefully that's the way it's going to go for the whole year.
Okay, thanks. Congratulations. Let's move over here to second place. Tim Ferry. Wow, what a last lap right at the finish line.
Yeah, you know, I just, I get a lot more money for second than I do for third, and that's what I was looking at.
Well, it's nice that you're very honest about it. Take us through this race. The start was not as good as you probably wanted.
You know, I felt really good practicing starts. The first heat race was a really good start, but I think my line was a little too close to that box, and more than anything, I was afraid of hitting it with my handlebar. So I don't know. I think I kind of mentally blocked it, but you know, I come out, you know, I don't know, maybe like 8th or 9th. Those guys are in front of me, and the track's really hard to pass, as we've seen in the heat race. So I knew it was going to be tough to pass or catch up, you know. But my arms got a little tight, so I've been off the bike 6 months, so I can't be too unhappy with that. So.
Well, it didn't show it. You ran a good race, and we'll be looking forward to next week in Atlanta. See you then.
Yeah, you know, I'll definitely put my Suzuki up front next weekend, and I'll get rid of a little bit of arm pump, and I'll be ready.
All righty, that's going to do it from down here, guys.
Okay, Marty, a rugged, unlucky debut for Ricky Carmichael, but opening up the 125 East, Dowd holds a precarious 3-point advantage over his opponents. The winner's celebration is underway here at the RCA Dome. The 250 run for big money is coming up next.
For years, ESPN has been working to improve sports for the fan.
This radioactive golf ball shows up 10,000 times brighter than a normal one. PGA champ Tommy Armour tries it out.
Though too toxic for tournament play, the bright ball did lead to a breakthrough in sports coverage. ESPN Net Sports Zone. Updated nearly 1,000 times an hour, it always has something new to make you a better fan. ESPN Net Sports Zone. Technology for you.
They say America's schools aren't up to the challenge. They say no one is providing the kind of education students need to succeed. They don't know about ITT Technical Institute, where skills in electronics and other technical fields aren't just talked about, they're taught. Find out more about ITT Tech by calling 1-800-942-0099. ITT Tech, it's an education that works.
You're lucky. You only think everyone is out to get you. The Red Wings versus the Coyotes, Monday at 9. The NHL on ESPN2.
It's women's NCAA Sunday basketball. A critical SEC matchup pits the Commodores against Bama's rising Crimson Tide and scoring threat Shalonda Ennis. Vanderbilt versus Alabama, Sunday at 5 on ESPN2.
After veteran John Dowd won the 125 main, we're getting set now for the 250 main. Hello, everybody. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Davey Coombs up top. And, guys, we've had 3 different winners in the first 4 rounds of Supercross action this year. And the way Jeremy McGrath ran through that heat race, could we have another different rider win?
I think it's about time for Jeremy to put up or shut up. He's gone 4 races without a win here in 1997. Last year, it wasn't until the 14th race before he got a loss. Tonight's got to be his night.
Well, he did look good, but I think Jeff Emig and Damon Huffman. Huffman was pressuring for the lead, and also Jeff Emig kept the pressure on Doug Henry, so maybe Kawasaki's got it together tonight. They may pick up another win.
Marty Reed, let's go down to you for the Dunlop Track Fact.
Guys, if you remember back at Phoenix, we were talking about the fact that Jeremy McGrath was talking about lack of low-end torque. Well, believe it or not, if you take 5 millimeters and add it to the length of your exhaust pipe right coming off the block, you can change 10% on your low-end torque. Now, the trade-off is you lose top-end power. Now, the guys won't tell us, wide seals won't tell us how much they added to that pipe. They did add to it, however, and obviously it worked because Jeremy was in victory lane in heat number 1.
You see the riders taking their practice lap right now. David Bailey, how important is it now to feel out this track? It looks like the track workers have really melted it down.
Well, actually, I think they've made it too easy. And for any of the guys like Henry, I think, who didn't seem to be bothered by the ruts in Seattle, and certainly not in his heat race, that could be to his disadvantage because everyone's going to be able to do everything without any real technicality. There's nothing really tricky on the track right now. So that may be the advantage of McGrath, who really didn't seem to like the ruts much.
Our Suzuki starting grid, Jeremy McGrath, Jeff Emig, Steve Lampson, Mike LaRocco in the bunch. Davey, are you a little bit surprised that it's so clean?
Yeah, actually I am. When we started out the evening, I saw the tacky dirt. I saw the way the ruts were coming up, and I was thinking this is a Doug Henry track. But as we were waiting for the main event to get underway here, the track crews, they had 3 big bulldozers out there. They did a heck of a job cleaning the thing up. And I'm telling you, it went from a Henry track to a McGrath track real quick. The ruts are gone.
Well, we'll see if they, number 1, can take advantage of that as Emig, number 3, is just to his right. Wyatt Seals, the mechanic, getting ready. There's Craig, Michael Craig, very, very quick. Mike Kudrowski, number 100. He's getting better and better each week. And Steve Lampson, number 4.
Even though Steve had to go to that semi, he still looked good. Been riding good. He got a little bit more time on the racetrack. There's Wyatt, hopefully telling Jeremy the things he needs to hear right now before he goes out for this main.
Jeremy's really impatient for a win, but he's controlling that emotion with a very constructive work ethic and lots of testing.
Now, he's always had the patience, and he's earned that right to have that kind of patience with the kind of winning that he's done in the past, to let that race come to him. And right now, he's actually been letting the series come to him. He's not that far behind, considering a 15th at the first round.
Yeah, look at that sign. A Doug Henry fan here in Indianapolis. He's gained a lot of fans coming back from that miraculous surgery. It's get tense time, David.
You know, I don't think the riders ever outgrow this feeling. Every one of them, I can tell you how that feels, and it's not good. But as soon as the gate drops, it all changes. I wish my whole career I could have somehow not had that anxiety, but it's always there.
Okay, let's see who can get to the 1/900 Pro Race Whole Shot Award of $1,000 first. They are off. Emig with a good start out in front, number 3. Emig will collect the $1,000, but he's got all kinds of action right behind him. Larry Ward, number 6. Jeremy McGrath is in 4th, gunning for number 3.
Doug Henry with another great start. Got a good look at the lead, and Larry Ward, once again, every week, so strong in the beginning of the race. He's got another great shot.
It's miraculous. He's only 13 points off the lead after 4 rounds with very consistent riding on that Honda Troy machine. The battle right now is for 3rd between McGrath and Doug Henry.
In our last shot, we just saw Ryan Hughes go riding through, and also Steve Lamson went down in the early laps. Now the first couple of corners, I mean, both those guys are going to have to come from last, as is Phil Lawrence.
I told you guys I was very curious to see what happened if Henry and McGrath started together. Right there you see him, 3rd and 4th.
Emig, Ward, Henry, McGrath. Boy, what a battle this could shape up to be. With Huffman, Craig, LaRocco, and Albertine, and Kudrowski behind them.
The way the track is right now, it's all dozed clean, so no one's going to make any mistakes until a little bit later in the race. I have a feeling it's going to be a fast pace, and all these guys are going to stay glued together. Uh-oh. Out front, Emig in the mechanics area went a little bit wide right out of this boot section here. Collected the banners in his rear wheel. There you see him. That's going to mess up his rear brake.
Rochdale probably going to play much more later on. You see Larry Ward might already sense that, starting to make an attack. It's going to melt his back brake if he's not careful.
And Doug Henry has stepped it up. Number 20 coming through the whoops behind Larry Ward.
Oh, what a bad break for Emig. If this does start to cause him some problems, when you get that in there, it starts to kind of, it's like the wheel feels like it's always got the brake on. And then in a few more minutes, that's going to melt, and then he's not going to have a rear brake.
Jeff Emig trying to hold on to the lead after getting the whole shot. Picked up the flags near the mechanics area. Larry Ward, Henry, and McGrath ready to take advantage of it. Let's go down to Marty Reed.
All right, you know what's going on out there. Does he know what's going on, and how worried are you about all that streamer clogged up in there?
Actually, he has no idea, but I'm not really too worried. Just kind of looked at it. It's on the sprocket side, so at least it's not near the disc, so everything should be okay. From what it looks like, it's still going fast. We have nothing to worry about so far.
Yeah, but I bet you think you wish you had this happen on the last lap, not the first.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's definitely the wrong time.
That last shot we just got of Emig going over the finish line, you can see up in the air, he tapped the rear brake, and you can see the wheel stop. So right now, it's not giving him any problem at all.
I've only seen one race where that many streamers in a rear wheel did not affect the rear brake, but I've seen it many times go the other way late in the race. Look at the battle now. Henry starting to really apply the pressure onto number 6, Larry Ward.
Well, all the guys behind Emig can see that problem, and they can smell it. They're trying to take advantage as soon as they can, but the pace is so quick right now, no one can do anything. They're all riding the same pace.
An inspired performance by the native right here from Indiana, Mike LaRocco with a good start, Davey, for the first time in long.
Yeah, he's back to the same thing. Mike's got to learn to attack more. I know I can't say Mike LaRocco needs to learn something. He's got all the championships and the race wins and everything. At the same time, he's always suffered from the same thing, Art. He's too late in attacking at the beginning of the race. He's going to let the leaders get away right now if he's not careful.
Huffman slacking off in 5th. We've got a 4-rider train out front.
Another train behind these guys. It's going to get a little bit different. It's going to change. See Jeremy getting a little sideways in that rut, entering that loop section. Kept the gas on. That incredible balance. Didn't lose any time to Henry.
You guys get the feeling that this battle for 3rd and 4th might be the battle for the win that we're seeing whenever one of these guys...
Here goes McGrath. Oh, he almost got the wheel inside and had to back off, Davey.
Yeah, as soon as one of those guys gets a clear run, I have a feeling you're going to see him freight train up. See what happens.
Emig still wheeling away as we take a look at the defending champion, Jeremy McGrath. 3rd in points, but still without a victory. A long time coming for Jeremy.
certainly think that Jeremy is a contender for the title. I know he knows that. A lot of people feel that. He may have to, in contrast to last year, settle for some seconds and thirds in order to get there, because no one's going to give it to him. Right now, Henry, the hottest guy on the planet, he's still got to get around to him just to get into third place.
Emig, Ward, Henry, McGrath, and Huffman are lined up, but the top four pulling away a little bit from Huffman.
Really impressed with Larry Ward, still hanging on. He's had some pressure from the two fastest riders in the country. He's not cracking at all. He's still actually staying pretty close to Jeff Emig.
Still 2 seconds behind number 3 on the Kawasaki, Jeff Emig. Emig still not seemingly having any problem with the rear brake.
Now, if it hasn't happened by now, I don't think it's going to happen at all.
Where in the race course do you really have to depend on that rear brake?
Well, there's a couple of corners. Going into the first corner, you really got to step on the brakes. The corner he just came into, you really got to use the brakes. And over the jumps, in case you jump with the front end a little bit high, you see the rider pull the clutch in, not stall the engine, tap the rear brake to bring that front end back down.
So we've got a 4-group front out front with Emig, Ward, Henry, and McGrath, and a group of 4 coming up behind. Look at the move now. Henry's trying to make a move on Larry Ward. He has the speed to cross the finish line jump in front of Ward. So now, will he put the preheat on Emig? I do believe so, guys.
Well, he's got a clear shot up to Emig. All it took was that little mistake by Ward. Ward's back up to pace. Just that one mistake in those ruts allowed Henry, and Henry was close enough to take advantage. And as they came to the mechanics area, that past lap, Wyatt Seals put on the board for Jeremy. Focus on Emig. Forget these other 2 guys. Focus on Emig. He's the leader. That's where we want to be.
Does Henry have a chance at 2 in a row? 3 out of 5 on the season. We'll be right back to find out.
The bike you dream about means serious cash, right? Wrong, people. Do the math. During Suzuki Fest 97, get up to $500 in Suzuki accessories free when you buy a selected Suzuki. Like the muscle-bound Intruder 1400. You'll also get free accessories with the Intruder 800 and the Savage 650. And choose from finance options like 0 down and 9.9% APR on selected models. But hurry, Suzuki Fest won't last. So you and Suzuki means, well, you do the math.
If you're a building contractor, you realize that home improvements don't happen by magic. It takes qualified people with good working experience to do the job right. Sears authorized contractors have opportunities now for professionals to install roofing, gutters, doors, and fencing throughout America. Our sales team will do all the promoting, product selling, and job measuring. We'll handle customer payment and pay you promptly. Plus, an insurance program is available to certified contractors. You'll need to have the proper equipment, comply with all building and safety codes, and accomplish high-quality work with an emphasis on customer satisfaction. Sears' high-quality product lines, plus our growing reputation of home improvement reliability, means we have work for you today. If you have the desire to expand your own business and become a Sears certified installer, call this 800 number right now and be on the grow with Sears.
NHL Tonight at 11:30, only on ESPN2.
Jeff Emig still our leader with Henry in second place, Larry Ward in third, and McGrath in fourth with Huffman pulling up on McGrath. Number 17, you see him there. The fans and media are so accustomed to Jeremy winning. It's interesting to see him react so coolly to his current status.
Well, I think, as you know and as everyone else knows, no one's ever seen this part of me. You know, I'm kind of on a long roll here, not winning a race, and you know, of course I'm impatient. I'm a winner. You know, I want to win bad, and it's been a while, but you know, I thought last week we had a week off and we were supposed to go place, you know, snowboard and Mammoth and stuff, and I stayed home and tried to focus a little more on my riding.
I thought when Doug Henry went past Larry Ward, we'd see Jeremy attack immediately, but instead he's got Damon Huffman, he's got sneaking up on him. Wyatt told him to focus on Emig, but he might be wanting to focus on the rearview mirror.
Right now, look how much distance Doug Henry has made up since he passed Larry Ward. He's right on the rear fender now in certain places on the racetrack to Jeff Emig.
Michael Craig is making a move, has just almost passed Larry Ward. Yes, number 15. Michael Craig not only passed Ward, he passed McGrath. Michael Craig proving many, many races ago that he's a very quick rider.
Jeremy lost his sync on that lap really bad. We see him getting slower and slower. There might be something wrong there. Now LaRocco's went by. He is spiraled backwards in the pack. He's down to about 8th now. I wonder what's going on.
I don't know, but Doug Henry still having trouble catching up with number 3, Jeff Emig out in front. Maybe could it be a flat tire? We're trying to zero in as tight as we can on these shots. Larry Ward getting a flat tire in the qualifying heat. Let's go down and see about an update from Marty Reed.
Well, we just were told by Wyatt he wants to get a message to Jeff here, Jeremy, as soon as he goes by. I did ask him if he thought it was a flat. He said, no, it's not a flat. He's not 100% sure what's wrong, but Jeremy McGrath has dropped 2 spots in 1 lap. It looks like, I'm trying to see if he's having trouble. It looks like, is he grabbing for the clutch handle?
Yeah, it seems that way. It looked like that when he drove by there that time, but I don't know. Gotta wait till he comes in to find out.
Wyatt's as baffled as we are, guys, but look, keep your eye on that clutch.
David and Davey, they've been working on that clutch for weeks.
Well, that's what makes motocross so difficult. There's no timeout. There's no break. There's no way he can come in and fix that. If you got a problem out there, you just got to get used to it and keep riding. And right now, you can see just one little thing is messing with the concentration of McGrath, and he's dropped 3 spots.
Jeff Emig, number 3, is looking for his 2nd victory, and he's doing a very good job of keeping out in front of Doug Henry.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that that banner's not bothering Jeff Emig. I know he knows it was back there. When he picked up the banner right in front of the mechanics there, I saw him take a look back, but it's not messed up his concentration whatsoever.
Larry Ward is still staying very close to Doug Henry. There's Emig up over the finish line jump, unable to jump that entire plateau now because the rut's in the face of that jump. And behind him, Henry and Larry Ward, and now Huffman really close the gap. This is shaping up to be a great battle, which could be to the favor of Emig if he can stay with this little bit of cushion out front.
Emig currently 4th in the point standings, 22 points behind the leader, Doug Henry. And that's mainly because, like Jeremy, he's fighting off 1 bad race, but he came back to win in Phoenix to put him back in the medal.
David, what we're seeing right now, Doug Henry, is what happens all the time in racing. You know a lot about this. You're so worried about the guy behind you, you lose track with the guy in front. This might be the break Jeff Emig needs to get away.
Definitely. He's already starting. You already can see the effects of it.
Larry Ward can sense it, too. Larry Ward has picked up the adrenaline as well as the throttle.
A little mistake right there by Ward, but he quickly regains his composure. Doesn't lose too much time. It gives you so much confidence when you get passed by a guy like Henry, just because you make a mistake and then you stay right on his rear fender for a few more laps. You know you got the speed. You're still in the race. Anything can happen.
Okay, Jeff Emig now has pulled a 2.5-second lead on the 2nd place man, Doug Henry. Let's go down to Marty.
Down here with Marshall Plum. Hey, it's amazing what a valve stem will do for you. He's riding well.
Yeah, we kind of got that problem fixed, but we got a tight race going on right here right now, so we got to try and stay focused.
He's got to go to work. He's got his man coming by. The sign says, set up, set up.
Larry Ward in 3rd currently, but he's got Michael Craig, number 15, and he's got number 5, Mike LaRocco, right behind him.
That's the thing about LaRocco. If he could only have that pace, that drive in the beginning of the race, he'd be up there with Henry and Emig. But instead, he's back here fighting for 5th along with Mike Craig. They're moving up on Larry Ward. Maybe their battle will take him up. But if LaRocco could ride like that for all 20 laps, he'd be getting more wins.
Emig gained a 2nd on Doug Henry on the last lap, so he's definitely inspired.
Well, he's pulled away from this battle that we're seeing here with Larry Ward and his teammate, Mike Craig. These guys are having to ride a little bit defensive like Davey was talking about. Now that's allowed Henry to have a little bit breathing room, not worry about those guys, just focus on Jeff Emig. And it's that point in the race where he's got to do something now or it's not going to happen.
Mike LaRocco in front of his home state fans, just moving in front of Michael Craig, number 15. And he's going to take on next Larry Ward. He's got the speed. He comes in front of Larry Ward. Mike LaRocco has done a fabulous job. Now can he catch Henry?
That's about the fastest I ever saw two guys on the same team get passed by someone else. He went through those guys like right now.
Jeff Emig with a 3-second lead in number 20, Doug Henry. But right now, Mike LaRocco has got a clear shot at Henry, who took a little bobble out of the loop.
They get a good idea of it as they came out of that corner of the interval. There's Henry just in front of LaRocco.
Boy, they're avoiding that big rut, many of the riders now, that's forming.
There's a big, deep rut in just about every section on the racetrack. Was the hot line about 4 or 5 laps ago, but not anymore.
LaRocco yet to land a podium finish this year. Had a real rough time since the reconstruction knee surgery back in '95. He got 4 third-place finishes last year.
You know what? While all this is going on, Jeremy McGrath is just faded further back. I don't know what's wrong. We're watching Huffman and Kudrowski right now. He's way back behind them. He's actually battling with Damon Bradshaw. There's something really wrong in Jeremy's program tonight.
He's in 9th place. This would be disastrous as far as the points battle is concerned.
Damon Huffman just took advantage of another mistake by Larry Ward. He's had a lot of trouble in that section leading up to the finish. Now he's got his other teammate, Kudrowski, who's been riding fantastic tonight, putting the pressure on him. So a potential podium for Larry Ward has just suddenly dropped away.
Henry has not been able to pick up any ground on Emig. He's still 3 seconds behind Jeff Emig, our leader. Then it's LaRocco. Then it's Michael Craig. Then it's Albee. Huffman, Larry Ward, and Mike Kudrowski. Kudrowski, number 100, gets the slingshot effect in the inside. And by the mechanics area, can he hold on against Larry Ward? Yes, MK is in good spot.
Now,
second and third closing up.
This is the time in the race when you start to get tired, when lapped riders start to get in your way, when everything bothers you. You can see LaRocco, a fast finisher, and Mike Craig, both these guys coming up on the back fender of Henry.
With 4 laps remaining, it appears that Emig is going to fight his way back into contention in the points race.
Very, very important race for Emig. I know he rode a very quiet 4th in Seattle, but coming to Indianapolis, first of all, ending Jeremy McGrath's winning streak at 4 here, then beating Doug Henry in a straight-up race with a banner in your back wheel. That's a heck of a night.
Emig is riding fantastic. Larry Ward has started to drop off the pace. There you get a look at McGrath, who's really dropped off the pace, still battling with Damon Bradshaw. You got to think that the way Jeremy looked in the very beginning of the race, something went wrong, and it could be something as simple as arm pump. It's very difficult to detect. Even Wyatt doesn't really know what's happened, but that's the only thing I can figure. Maybe that early fast pace got to Jeremy, and once you get arm pump, there's nothing you can do about it but fade.
Is Mike Kudrowski rounding quickly into form for Honda of Troy after a season off, David Bailey?
He's looking better and better.
Mike LaRocco just passed Doug Henry. As we see number 3, Jeff Emig out in front of them.
Emig's got that whole straightaway right there leading into the loop section. Watch these guys into the corner. It's LaRocco. Mike Craig is still right there.
Oh, this is anybody's second place, let me tell you.
Albertine snuck up into 5th very quietly as well.
Well, Henry knows in the points, 2 guys behind him, McGrath and Larry Ward. He can look over his shoulder in a certain place on the racetrack and see that they're having a terrible night, so he's still going to pad his points lead if he rides smart here, but what a good ride from LaRocco.
Mike LaRocco getting a late start this season after shoulder surgery. But look at number 3, Jeff Emig. Emig winning his first Supercross with a lot of suspect, because that was the Las Vegas race that the lights went out and many of the top contenders did not run against him. But a win is a win when you look back at it. Then he came back to interrupt Jeremy McGrath's win streak last season, winning at St. Louis. As we take a look at the Honda stopwatch to get an idea, he's got a good lead on the second place rider.
Still not enough on LaRocco. Emig has been riding good. He's still jumping all the triples. He did everything he needed to do. He got the whole shot. He could, if he stays on, holds on to what he's got here, be another 2-race winner here in the 97 season, just like Henry.
White flag lap. As we take a look at lap times. We'll pick it up to see what a blitzing pace Emig has been able to achieve with the banners in the rear wheel. Doug Henry, the blue bike, number 20.
And I give Jeffro all the credit in the world for getting out front and pulling away like that, but imagine if LaRocco started up there with him, what kind of race we'd be having for the win right now.
And of course, Doug Henry desperately trying to hold on to third as the points leader. It's going to be essential this year that you stay in that top 5. Here's LaRocco, number 5. What a race he's had this year. 15 is Michael Craig.
You see the lap times have really slowed down from what we saw in the 125 class due to the deterioration of the racetrack. Takes that much more energy to ride 250 around here, and Emig is about to put it all together.
This is the first time a Honda has not won Indianapolis as Jeff Emig. Number 3, the winner. LaRocco second. Henry third. Craig, his finest performance of the year, in 4th. And Greg Albertine in 5th. With Kedrowski after that. And Larry Ward along with Damon Huffman. And then Jeremy McGrath. What an interesting race for our 5th round. This has been a fantastic performance by this young man before more than 50,000 fans here at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. We'll be right back. Oh, it's going to be interesting hearing if Jeff Emig knew about the banners in the rear wheel. We'll be right back after this.
Over 25 years ago, Honda built the first ATV. Now we've built our most powerful, the Foreman 400. Where do we go from here? Just about anywhere we want.
Now is the time to train for the career you've always wanted. Just ask Motorcycle Mechanics Institute graduate Al Ludington, now lead mechanic for Honda's championship-winning Smokin' Joe's Superbike team.
MMI gave me the knowledge and training to take me to the top of my profession. It's a great place to start, and I recommend it to anybody looking to kick off a career in motorcycle mechanics or the personal watercraft industry.
Change your life with one phone call, 1-800-994-3664. That's 1-800-994-3664. Call today.
AMA Supercross on ESPN2 has been brought to you by Honda, the Red Riders, winners of the last 9 straight 250 Supercross Championships, and by Suzuki. Right now, your Suzuki dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Coombs up top, Marty Reed down to the floor of the stadium, Jeremy Albrecht congratulating Emig, number 3, on his great victory. And the word has come down from our statisticians, guys, that Emig has had some experience with banners in the rear wheel. This is the 2nd time he's won a race with it. I can't remember the first time.
Must have been an outdoor national, because I tell you what, Supercross, I remember him winning Las Vegas, that wonderful race in St. Louis last year, and then Phoenix this year. I'm sure that Jeff would be real proud of himself once he gets to look at the videotape and sees just how much of the twine he had wrapped up in his back wheel.
His 4th Supercross victory, David.
Well, there he just got a good shot of the rear wheel. Shaking Troy Lee's hands right there. Troy Lee, of course, painting helmets for all these guys. And, of course, Jeff Emig. Emig putting together 2 wins this year. Early in the season, he joked around with us saying, hey, I don't think I've ever won in January. Well, now he's won in February.
Our top 10, Emig, LaRocco, Henry, Craig, Albertine. And then as we go to 6 through 10, let's go down to Marty Reed.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I don't know if you know this, but that was the most beautiful parade float I've ever seen go around a racetrack. I mean, I used to decorate my bike like that years ago.
Yeah. My mechanic told me I picked up those flags on the 2nd lap, and I felt the rib brake going away, and I kind of felt it out, and then it started coming back, and I'm okay, now let's go race again. But I was worried.
Well, here's the whole shot award, the 100 Pro Race. That's another $1,000 in the pocket. Nice run there.
Yeah, I'd like to thank 1-900 Pro Race for providing that. And if you need race results, that's who to call. So if you want to know who got the whole shot, you call 1-900 Pro Race.
Hey, he does a better commercial than the commercial, guys. Hey, we'll see Atlanta 2 times now. You won this year at Tempe, and now here. You're going to make it to 2 in a row and 3?
Well, I sure would like to. We had another member of our team leave this week, Rick Ash, our suspension guy. So, you know, I'd like to wish him the best, just like I did Roy, and shoot, at the rate we're going here in a couple weeks, we'll have nobody left on the team, but we may have about 6 wins. So,
you'll take that trade.
Yeah, but I would like to thank everybody at Kawasaki, Shift, Arnett, Shoei Helmets, Alpine Star Boots, and Troy Lee Designs, and everybody at home that always helps me.
All right, let's move on over to second place now, because what a comeback charge. I know you wanted the #1 spot, but man, Mike, that was a great run.
Yeah, actually, I felt pretty good tonight. My Suzuki was working real well, and you know, I just kind of let it hang out a little bit. My shoulder felt pretty strong. I rode kind of easy at the beginning, kind of took the race away from myself, but I was surprised how strong I was, so I let it hang out at the end, and I tried to catch Jeff.
Could you hear the crowd?
Yeah, I could hear the crowd, and you know, it helps a lot. I seen him coming. I just, you know, they helped me, but I was giving it all I had, but I just didn't have enough time.
Well, we got another chance at just next week in Atlanta. Is that you like it down there, don't you?
Yeah, I like all these East Coast tracks. The dirt kind of suits my style more. You know, I just pray that my shoulder stays strong. You know, it's a lot more fun running up front than struggling in the back. So, you know, if I can stay healthy, I plan on being up here a lot more often.
All right, Mike, we'll see you next week in Atlanta. Now, let's move over to third place points leader. He's going to hold on to that points lead. Doug Henry, want to ask you about the end, because they made a comment up in the booth that maybe you were playing it a little smart, protecting the points and not trying to duke it out with Mike.
Yeah, I really wasn't feeling as strong as I have been in the beginning part of the season. So, you know, I kind of come into this race. I wanted to win, but I wasn't going to ride over my head. And I kind of just rode a smart race tonight. I wasn't feeling 100%. So, you know, I'm happy with the way I finished.
Now, we talked about this before, that the first heat that you were running in was a really tough battle, and that maybe you took a little too much out, and you said no. You rethinking that now?
No, I mean, you know, those heat races, they're really quick, and they're just like, it's really the first chance we get to go out there and ride fast, you know, hard for 8 laps, because in practice there's usually slower guys and stuff, and usually there's hay bales in the track, so you really don't get a chance to really ride hard. So that's just like the first chance you get to go out there and just ride hard.
Well, you did a good job, third place. I know you wanted to move up higher. Everybody always does, but in control of the points.
I'll take it. You know, I've gained points, and that's what I'm here to do, you know. I want to try to secure that points lead.
All right, guys, it's all yours.
Marty, he has done just that with 107 points, held on to that points lead as the guys are scrambling behind him. And what a leap to 90 points for Jeff Emig into second place.
Well, I'm so impressed with the way Emig rode. He knew he needed to get the start, and when that guy needs a start, he gets it every single time. And then he did know that he wrapped up those banners in the wheel, and the brake was starting to go away. And then what a horrible feeling that is when you're in control of a race, you're feeling good, and all of a sudden you have no rear brake, and it's completely out of your control that you have to actually back off the pace and get pressure. But it came back, and like he said, a lot of guys are Team Kawasaki now starting to shrink a little bit, losing Roy Turner, Rick Ash, one of their key suspension guys, but it seems like every time they lose somebody, they pick up another win, so it's going good so far.
Yeah, you know, I went to dinner with one of Jeff Emig's mechanic last night, Jeremy Albrecht.
And he didn't get sick?
Didn't get sick. Notice they won't let me get near any of the riders.
Yeah,
but
after Hughes, right?
Yeah, he discussed Rick's contribution to the team and everything like that, and he kind of said the same thing, only he didn't really expect to win. But Jeff made a good point. Everything's going good. They're running on all cylinders. They're doing great. But what about Doug Henry? He's always there. Third place.
Larry Ward, I think, certainly showed the effects of the flu bug that he had all week, or actually 2 weeks now, if not 3 weeks. Taking a 7th place, though, he's still up in the points battle.
Well, he just had to play it smart, and actually I had the flu during this week off, and I know how that feels, and you can't ride and train. So he came in here, and I know he wasn't 100%. He sure gave it everything he had at the beginning of the race, but having to get a shot early in the week to try to get some strength back and get this whatever he had out of his system certainly didn't help his chances of having some stamina at the end of the race.
Marty, I have unofficially Jeremy back in 9th place, giving him 12 more points. What's the situation from your vantage point?
Well, we ran back into the pit area, and I talked to Wyatt Seals, and it was the clutch that it was slipping, and that is a problem that they're now going to have to go back and diagnose. Jeremy, I asked him if he felt like talking. He shook his head. He was totally frustrated because he really felt after that heat race that this was going to be his night to get back on the victory podium. And